Welcome to W.I.L.D, the podcast. I'm your host, Ashton Ryan, and tonight I'm flying solo again. My beautiful co-host, Diana, is on a break. She has been holding our show down for the last year, and I'm grateful for her. Diana is the author of Borderline, a poetic memoir. Amazing book. I think she might be working on more. I'm just saying. W.I.L.D, the podcast airs live on Jess TV, Roku TV, SSH 101, NCG Television Network, Fire TV, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and www.jessfm.ca. W.I.L.D, the podcast is proudly sponsored by W.I.L.D, the nonprofit, W.I.L.D Homes and Gardens. We have a new one out in W.I.L.D Press. Was that too fast?
Love it.
Tonight I'm so excited to chat with Grayce. It's the first time I've gotten to talk with her, but she's been on our show before with Diana, and their show was wild. I had to rewatch it last night because listening to your death experiences, both of you, to find each other in a writing workshop, the whole thing. So
Fabulous.
It's fabulous. But I want to direct everyone who's listening, you must go www.wildthepodcast.com. Check out Grayce's first episode to listen to that. I don't want to waste, it's not a waste of time, but I don't want to, it's there. Y'all talked about it because I have all the questions. There will be many more discussions, I hope. So, without further ado, Jay is a published writer, poet, survivor, advocate, holistic counselor. Your work is rooted in resilience, healing, authentic human connection. You've co-hosted a few radio shows, right?
Yeah.
You
and radio, like an FM radio.
Yes, you're amazing. I feel like I'm such an amateur over here, but that's okay. From here, introduce yourself. Tell us about you.
Oh, well, time, but I am, just making it through the day, doing the best I can like everybody else. I have many interests and passions. Writing is one of them, obviously, the arts in general. Let me backtrack a little bit. My background is as a crisis counselor at a hotline in New York City. And the bulk of our clients were people who were in immediate crisis, such as domestic violence, or rape, or a victim of a crime. And we intervened, we did crisis counseling, referrals, and advocacy. And I learned so much from that. And that's like the best way to learn, hands-on. And I've always been a compassionate person. I have deep empathy for people and wanting to help when people are at their lowest is, I think, a gift and a blessing to be able to provide that. And then life happened, and I unfortunately became a victim of rape and sexual assault. And my life fell apart for a very, very long time. I think sometimes because you have a background in psychology or counseling, you think that somehow you can bypass some of the healing journey. And I learned very quickly that I was drowning. So I have had a plethora of therapy and searched different spiritual platforms. I've done dance, Reiki, everything I could think of that can bring me some kind of peace. A lot of them worked, some of them didn't, but it was a learning experience, and that's helped me help other people. One of the things talking about broadcasting, I didn't have any experience in broadcasting whatsoever. Maybe when I was a kid and I would play around pretending that I was doing radio. That's about it. But it just happened that after my rape, a few years afterwards, I became friends with a great artist who's no longer with us, and he was so deeply empathic. And he told me, I'm an artist and I take pictures and I paint a lot of beautiful women. And I spend so much time with them, and almost all of them unfortunately had shared a story of being sexually assaulted. And he was just like taken aback by that. And he always felt like there's something we should be doing. And he would share his stories and ideas. And his girlfriend, who's the news director of WBAI in New York City, said, why don't I produce a show, a live and call-in show where we talk about these stories. So they apprehensively, I said yes, but I was really hoping that someone else would show up. And that didn't happen. The last minute, I was like, sure, you don't have anybody else. Like, no, you're it. And so it was live, and I had no clue where I went to the studio, the whole thing, the headset, and everything. And I'm thinking, when it's time for me to speak, I'm probably not going to be able to speak at all. But what did happen was that as soon as I put those headphones, I was able to just focus on my story. And I closed my eyes and just shared what I had to share. And I felt so lighter, much lighter. I felt like I just could breathe again. It was so empowering. And what was more powerful, I think, was that by sharing my story, others joined in and shared their stories. I mean, there were women who spoke and said they never mentioned to anyone that they were assaulted. They were like 16 or 17 years old, and now they're in their 70s. And for the first time, they're sharing their story for the first time. And you were able to feel their pain being lifted after they spoke. I mean, that was so powerful to me. That's
what we're here for, right? Is that not like, it's like,
Yeah, and I think, at that time, and like I was just a rape assault, a sexual assault victim. I mean, that's how my head was at. I felt like a victim. I really was going through it. But by the end of that program, I was already heading to being a survivor. And that's a different mindset from being a victim, where when you're in a survivor state, you're able to recognize what was done to you, but you're able to sort of just not let that define you anymore. You're able to transform that into something that's useful in your own life and hopefully for others.
That's a beautiful way. That's a beautiful way to describe going on to a survivor. That's amazing to put it that way.
Yeah. And so that was a really wonderful experience. And then by the end of the show, they were like, this is a great topic, and we need to do this more often. And Rebecca was like, but I cannot do this by myself. And she says, would you be interested in doing this? And I was like, okay. The rest is history. That was like,
wow. That's amazing. To me, I don't have, I'm surrounded. I have this magazine. I am around artists and these, all the people, and there are so many stories of sexual assault. And I mean, family, it's happening. It's happening. And I'm grateful in my life, almost 40. I have put myself in many situations, and I am so grateful. I have not, but people share their stories. I talk to people everywhere. You could probably tell, and I feel like you're probably the same way. Conversations. People tell me these things, and I just am like, to be able to just to listen. I can only imagine getting that out, and
important. It's a lost art. We should all try to master it. Most people want to and listening is so important, particularly with survivors and victims of severe crimes and violent crimes. Just lending that ear without judgment, just giving them a safe space where they feel that they can just share their story. That's a gift. Sometimes people get scared. I'm like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Sometimes you don't need to do anything.
Yep. And to be heard, we all have at some point, somebody has listened to us, and we know that feeling of being heard. And I mean, there's not that's it. You feel like somebody knows you. I'm not alone in this head of mine.
Yes. That's so important.
So important. It's so important. And what a wonderful thing to put yourself there, because you didn't want to. I love how you described going from being a victim to a survivor. That is so cool that you can word it that way. So tell us about this month, back to what you were telling me earlier.
Yes. Well, in the topic, I mean, obviously.
Yes, the topic.
April is National Sexual Awareness Month and also Child Abuse Awareness Month. And, anyone here that's listening, maybe anything I shared may have triggered you. There are places you can get help. Or maybe there's somebody that you know in your life that is going through something and you have no clue what to say or what to do. You can refer them to this hotline, which I'm going to give you, but I'm going to find it. And excuse me, but I'm kind of legally blind, and I'm not joking. So I have to look at everything really close. But I will start with the sexual assault hotline, which is 1-800-656-HOPE, HOPE. And then the Children National Helpline is 1-800-422-4453. And I know we're going to repeat it later.
Yes, for sure.
So if you didn't get a chance, that's okay. But it would also help people who just want to, I have someone in my life that's going through something. How do I talk to them? Or how do I even convince them to get some help? Because a lot of victims don't get help for many, many reasons until later, if at all. So just be aware. And I am so grateful for the opportunity. I have to say again, because I don't think I thanked you, which is not very nice.
Actually, I was talking a lot and just all of the things. You are so welcome. I'm so honored to have you here.
So thank you so much for taking the time to listen to what I have to say. And I'm hoping that someone out there can use this information and somehow it will improve their lives.
You're amazing. You're amazing. Tell me, I don't want to say it the wrong way. You have Rape Declaration Forum? Is that what that is?
That was at WBAI, which we stopped doing the show in 2018.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. But I'm working on a podcast called Rape No More, which is KNOW more. And I'm hoping that we can do it online, or that was in the WBAI, but we're going to do this one online. And unfortunately, it seems like we need to talk about this more.
Tell us a little bit about the podcast, whatever, if there is. I mean, where are you at in the process? Is it?
We're at pre-production, so nothing.
Okay.
Really, yeah, but it's in the making, it's in the works, and it will be a sort of live show where people can share their stories, and hopefully we'll get people who are allies, organizations that help, and just bring out this horrible. It's become what I want to use. An epidemic, really. It's awful. And it's sad for me because I've been working on this for decades about this particular topic. And there was a point where I remember discussing it with the executive producer and saying, I feel good, I feel proud of what we've done. And I thought that there was some momentum there and there was some real changes. And I have to say, sadly, these past few years, it's sort of like we're backsliding. So we need to pay attention. We need to really get involved. It's not just somebody else's story. If we really take the time, you realize that everyone's affected in some way. Family member, friend, or coworker.
And that's the truth, and that's how I have felt. It's Diana. For a few years, we've had many guests. It just seems like that has been our. The topic has come up, and I mean, like I said, people tell me these things, and it just. I guess the only thing that we can do, I'm here to listen, is but to bring people on and to just like what you're doing. I love that is your goal. Are you going to have people share their stories live with you? And okay, and to me, I mean, how healing, and that is a whole
very
therapeutic. Yes. You're amazing. You're amazing. So let's shift gears, only for the sake of time. I'm always trying to cover it all. do you tell me about your writing? How did that, all of that? Wherever you want to go with it.
Writing, yes. Writing has been something that I've done all my life since I could write. I love journals, and I would write poetry and stories here and there, and it was just basically for me. And then I had a few poems published, but I really didn't think I was a writer. I was like, "Oh, but in my healing process, writing became very important to me. It was, cathartic, and it got me out of my own head, and it allowed me to make room for other good things happening in my life. When I was in a deep depression, I couldn't find joy in the things that I loved. I loved dancing. I loved the arts. I loved, talking to people and getting to know them. And I was a shell of a person. I didn't go out. I would wear baggy clothes. I didn't go out for 2 years. Unaccompanied. I would go to like my therapist or something, whatever I needed to do. That was it.
And would you write? Go ahead. Go ahead. Were you writing during that time, or were you blocked?
I was blocked. Completely blocked. And it wasn't until I started I found the right therapist. And this I tell to everyone: you have to, if you take time to buy your shoes, you need to take time to find the right therapist. Because you have to do your research. You have to be determined to fight for yourself and advocate for yourself. And if something doesn't feel right, if a person doesn't feel right, move on. We have the right to say, you know what, we're not the right mix, and that's okay. And that happened to me. I found a few that were okay, some were horrible, and then I found the right therapist for me. And that therapist gave me the room to explore things that I enjoyed. She asked me just like, what used to give you joy? And I was like, joy? What is that? I haven't had that in years.
Did you almost feel like you would never even have it again? Like you had moved on to I can imagine that would be, oh.
I didn't feel like I could find joy. I didn't even feel like if I wanted to find joy, just if I deserved joy. I mean, that's the state of mind that I was. But this therapist was really wonderful and just started just like, write one thing, write this, whatever. And I started doing that. And then she said, you know what? Don't even think about what you're going to write. Just free flow. You start a free flow writer. Just whatever comes out. If you write the same thing, sort of like The Shining, so you're scared.
Oh, yes.
But she said, start doing that, and I did, and I started writing poetry, and I started doing things, and I started getting out of my shell, and I started allowing myself the idea of having joy back in my life. It was okay to have joy. And that incident, what happened to me, was not the end of everything. It's a horrible thing that occurred, and now there's still a life left for me. And then, it took a lot of work. And it wasn't rainbows and butterflies. You had your ups and downs and ebb and flow, but I did do it, and that helped me a lot. So anytime I've had some trauma, I write, and with no intention of sharing it with people. And then sometimes I'm like, oh, I feel so passionate about this. I'll post it on social media.
Which I love. Thank you for that, because I love, like, I met Diana through her poetry. I followed her page, and I loved her words. I love words. I love to read. I love to write. Like, so thank you for that. Even as just, innocent standby over here, like, I am grateful for your words. And before I read some of your words, some of my favorite words, tell us a tiny bit, just going back to therapy, are there any, how could we help somebody find an ideal therapist? I mean, research, is there anything that we can help to direct someone to find the ideal?
I think a good place would be one of the numbers that we gave.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a national hotline. So what they will do is, if you're calling from a specific place, they can refer you to a local place where you can find therapists or support groups or whatever it is that you may need or advocate. And but if you want to, now we have like we're online, so you can do your own research as well. But when you're out doing your own research, make sure that you read reviews. Make sure that they obviously have the credentials. And a lot of therapists now, there's so many.
Yes. And so many methods. That's why I wish and everybody's so different. It's hard to really tell us. I cut you off. Continue. You were going there.
No, it's okay. You're right. They have different methods. So you have to sort of think, what is it that you would like? Some people want to just traditional talk therapy. Some people, I gravitated to traditional talk therapy, and I had a psychiatrist because at that time I had to get anti-depression medication. And I weaned off it after a year because I didn't like how I felt. And that's a whole different story.
Yes, I feel you there.
But it did help when I needed it, and I'm grateful for that. And then I also did Reiki therapy. I did meditation. I did a lot of things, but my therapist was open to it. So look for a therapist depending on your needs and your interests, because there are a lot of therapists now that have a holistic point of view. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So and if you don't like them, again, it's okay. It's okay to say, you know what, we're not a good fit. That's it. And you keep trying. You keep trying until you find the right match. And when it does happen, it is a wonderful blessing. I am so grateful to my therapist. She's no longer my therapist because she was like, honey, you're done. You're good.
That's amazing. You graduated. You are now the teacher.
And she was like, and we both knew it like a couple of months before, we decided to part ways and break up. Like, you don't need me as much anymore. I was like, no, I need you.
Well, and it's that person that helped you get through. You'll always hold them like, that's a chapter that was so helpful.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So now I'm so happy we're friends, and she's like, we communicate all the time as friends now, and it's a wonderful thing. And you know what? There are times I can't go to her because we became friends now. But when I need therapy, I do get therapy, and it's not as intense like I used to. But it's always good to get yourself some support when your things are going rough. There's no shame in that at all.
No shame in that at all, and no shame in leading your therapy. I talk to people all the time, all the different topics, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't think it's doing anything," and I'm just like, "You don't owe that to them. Like, I don't. That is important. I don't want to. Yeah. That is so important.
Absolutely. You are in charge. That's how it's supposed to be. When you go to therapy, it's you're the one in charge. You dictate what your needs are, and then they will tell you what they will and are willing to do or not do. And you set boundaries, and you work together and cooperate together to get you to a point where you won't need therapy. But and there's some people who are addicted to therapy. Who just like for every reason they're like in therapy, and everything's balanced. My personal belief.
Yes. Well, even girlfriends. I mean, I call it therapy when I go out with my girlfriends. I mean, you know how it is. We get together. I don't even know anything else is going around. We're and you go. I wake up the next morning and I'm like, gosh, I'm good for like 3 more weeks. Like I can deal with life. So yes, it is balanced there, and the therapists offer so many tools. That's the thing. Like the tools that like that, we need those.
Yeah, that's it. It's the tools you gain. Tools, and you learn lessons, and hopefully you can see patterns and learn how to react in a way that's not hurting you. Whatever works,
And that's it. And that is it. Okay, so moving on. I feel like a drill sergeant over here. I have so many things to talk to you about. But okay, so should I read? now that we've been talking, I don't know, I feel like words have been coming up. So, okay, I'm going to read your words about words. Okay, so words are so powerful. Some say we should be aware of what we speak out loud because we cast spells unknowingly. So I watch what I say out loud and to myself. I'm tiptoeing through my mind's minefield. Careful, stop, be aware. So many things. How did we come this far and still regress? How many times do we repeat ourselves before we hear ourselves? How did we get here? What can I say to make it better? Words are powerful. What can I say to get me through this day? A way to lift others as I go my way. What words will I say? Ooh, I love it. That spoke to me. Because I mean, that's it, right? I mean, the way that's it. What do I even say? How do I even say anything beyond that? Tell me just a bit where your mind was here and how that came into fruition, if you will.
Great. Well, first of all, I have to mention, I'm sure Diana has mentioned, I know we did in the other podcast, but we met at a writing group. It is a workshop
which I'm very jealous about, that I'm not part of. 3 down.
Join us.
I think I'm going. I don't forget what you were going to say, but I do think I'm going to try to jump into the. Is it grieving through your words or
Yeah.
But last night, and I watched you guys live or like the next day, and I was thinking then, but then even yesterday, I was just like, I have such FOMO. Like, how have I missed this wonderful group of women? So tell us about that. Go ahead, go back to there.
Yes. So I knew Amy Ferris. She's a wonderful, fabulous, brilliant writer.
I'm obsessed with her book. I have it now.
No.
Oh, it's so good. I wish I had it. I have it in my group. Yes, it's so good.
Yeah, you guys can see it. I don't know if I got it right.
Amy Ferris.
Yes.
I believe you.
Yes, Amy Ferris, and it's Amy in Retrograde. Amy in Retrograde. And you can find this book. It came out last, 28th of March. So it's been out, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful book. And she's been going through some stuff. She just lost her love of her life. And yeah. So our hearts are with her, and whatever is holding her. And even in spite of that, she's so generous, and she is built a scholarship under her husband Ken Ferris. And it's at New Miracle, because that's the platform where they do the workshop. Jane Sibbett and her beautiful daughters are part of New Miracle. And I encourage you to check their website. And if you can't join us, have a wonderful program.
Excuse me.
Take your time.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
I know, I hate when that happens with the water. It's like the worst.
Well, my allergies. I feel like my eyes.
I was just like I'm crying.
We're in Florida. It is allergy season. Yes.
Oh my God, so am I.
I know. I saw your. Yes. Sarasota? Is that where you are?
Yep.
I'm in St. Augustine.
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
Right across, right?
Yeah, but it's a beautiful. Oh, yes. So
Moon Miracle?
Yeah, New Miracle. NewMiracle.com. You can go and check it out. But the workshop, when I went there, I really didn't know what to expect. I normally, like I don't know about groups. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna work out. And I just went there, and I saw Jane, and I saw Amy's faces, and it was so loving and welcoming, and just so warm. And then I just saw these boxes, boxes, these beautiful, luminous ladies, and I was in awe of them because every story they shared, it was just beautiful and real and raw and just I fell in love with them, and they have been amazing. Diana, all of them have been so supportive, and we're so supportive of one with each other, and genuinely, it's we care about each other, and it's been a blessing, a blessing. So that's how I started writing. I started writing again because of Amy, because of New Miracle, and the inspiration that I get every week from these wonderful women. So when I wrote that, I remember because I like to procrastinate. I'm working on it. So it was Tuesday, and I knew we had maybe like 4 hours to do it. So I was like, right. And that's how I usually write. I don't really like obsess about it. I just like to just see what flows.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sure something was going on in my life that made me at that time write specifically about that. But words are powerful. They just are. And so I started with that. That's my process.
I love that though. I love that. And I love that you procrastinate. I feel like procrastinate has a negative connotation. It's not like if you do what you say you're going to do, like however, as long as to me, I was a journalist, and I timeline, and even now I'm a wedding photographer. There's like a timeline, and I feel like I work better under pressure. Even if I do everything in advance, I go back and change it later. I have a whole, so no shame.
I love it. I like the way you do.
It's the only way I know. I think I used to try to change, but
yeah, that's me too. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to change. I'm doing my best, but
it's awareness, right? Isn't there so much to me? It's like the awareness changes it all.
Yeah.
So going back to writing, New Miracle, is it newmiracle.com?
Yes, it
is. The website. And that has all of the different things going on.
Workshops, everything that they have to provide. Even if you want to donate to Amy Ferris's scholarship, the Kim Ferris scholarship is there. You can go there. And they have these wonderful anthologies that I and Diana have been privy and honored to be part of. And I think you can still get them. They're available there. And I think it's a wonderful, wonderful book because it also gives you the prompts that we use. Okay. And it allows you to write as well. So it's like a workbook as well. So, it's interactive and and it gets you motivated and inspired to maybe, start writing yourself. I mean, we have all of us have stories to tell. We all have stories to tell. And I encourage anyone, whether you're doing it at home or a workshop, give yourself some time to write about you, because you matter. And we're busy just, living life and doing our best, and we don't really honor ourselves. And that's a great way to honor ourselves and keep ourselves in check. Get some insight after you read it.
It's and to leave for your family. I attended years ago this workshop. It was like a one-day in-person memoir type of workshop, and it was great. It was so good, but it was prompts. I shouldn't say just. It was prompts. She gave us different ways and how. And to me, so do you know one of my favorite? Is it Julie or Julia Cameron? Yeah. Artist of the morning. Yes, morning pages. I love her, and I've gone through a couple of things, but I found that's a whole thing. But prompts, there's something about prompts. I actually put together a book myself to like kind of seasonal. I'll send you one. It's great. But if you like that, it's helpful for me. It always,
Yeah.
So. I didn't realize your anthology was available at New Miracle. I wanted one. I saw y'all in a Facebook.
I mean, the last time I looked, I thought I saw it, but check it out. I think you can.
One of y'all posted it on one of the Facebook pages, and I was like, "Hello, how do I get one?" And maybe somebody responded. I missed it, but good to know. You've already answered so many of my questions. So, okay, back to questions. Now I have questions for you. So if you look at the beginning of your journey, media, all of this sharing, what version of you did you have absolutely no idea about that we were walking into? What shocked you the most?
I think we sort of touched on it, but I'll retouch. I think the power of your voice, you know, the power of not just your voice, but adding your voice with others. I mean, that turns into an actual movement, you know? You have the potential to create change. And I didn't realize that. You know, I didn't know that just me telling my story. I really didn't think anybody cared to hear my story. It's another story. Many other people who have been assaulted. But it made a difference. It made a difference. And that's how we create change. You know, we create change through awareness. We create change through action. And supporting each other. And that's what we need now.
For sure. Oh my gosh, it's the greatest thing ever to not feel alone like that. So, okay, so was there a moment in your work where the line between I'm here to help others and I need this healing too completely dissolved?
I thought about that because that's another fantastic question. I mean, I had to meditate on that one. I can't think of a moment where I felt that way. I've been triggered, because I'm human, and someone can share something, and I was like, oh, this is getting me. But but I have been able, because we talked about tools. I had the tools already to handle that. I knew that I had the support that if I needed to vent or let it out eventually, I will. But at that moment, I'm so focused on what the person needs that's my goal, is to be there and present for them.
And that's amazing that you're able to, because like you said, even just we were talking to each other to be able to listen. I mean, that's a gift. That's a gift. Yeah. And it's
training. It's a lot of discipline.
No matter, but you took the time to, and you wanted it, that's amazing to me. Okay. So what creative form surprised you the most by how much it has helped heal you? And I hate that word heal you, like you're not done, but what type of because you love to dance. I feel you do some things.
I do some things. I even paint. I didn't say paint well, but I do paint. But I think honestly, I'm going to go back to writing. Things that we're naturally good at, I think we tend to underestimate, not give it the props it needs. And so I didn't realize that writing would help me so much, because again, it did help with my healing, and it allowed me to bring joy into my life. And I think a lot of people who are clinically depressed, when it hits like waves, and it hits actually like a tsunami, this depression. And at times it's just, somebody else is it's irrational or whatever you want to call it, but it's real for the person that's experiencing it. And at that moment, you just don't believe that you deserve anything good. And when I did the free-flowing creative writing, that really did open the door to making me feel more like me and allowing myself to bring back joy into my life and know that.
And now, how did you, were you just free writing, literally waking up, or was there a prompt, anything? How did you get yourself?
Yeah, there was no prompts. The only prompt was a suggestion from my therapist at that time to just give myself time to just write, even if it's just anything, a sentence. And I love poetry. I love writing songs. So that's really what started for me. I started just doing that.
Songwriting.
Yeah. But that's just like a hobby. It's not like, I haven't put it in the billboard yet.
It's amazing though. Something for me. As a writer, it almost feels that I have a 6-year-old, and so and it's my only child. I feel selfish if I'm not doing something for work and writing. And if you're a writer, you're getting paid for whatever, and then you need to do it therapeutic wise. It feels different, right? And to not share, because that's one of my questions. I wanted to touch on, how you I don't like the word justify, but you know, you make yourself like you write and you don't share it. And tell me about that. How many like there's so much that you don't share? Go ahead.
I think going back to the workshop, I think it's allowed me to be more vulnerable. There are a lot of things that I didn't think I was going to actually share with the group. I just didn't. I just didn't think I was going to do it. But being in that type of environment where people are just so vulnerable and being truthful, that it gave me permission and allowance to be vulnerable to it. And the group dynamic is so important, and that's why I keep raving about this group in this workshop, is because you genuinely feel supported, you genuinely feel heard and seen, and that's important. And so there was a lot of stuff there that I wasn't going to share at all, and it's now like in the anthology. So, but there's some stuff that I keep to myself, and that's okay because you need that. You need that. There are certain things that are sacred, and it's yours. And I encourage it. Not everything has to be shared.
And it's amazing. Yes, I feel like that to myself. I would love to remind myself of that more often. It's amazing. So we barely touched on anything that I wanted to know because I knew that, but I have lots of questions. But I want to talk just a little bit about how people for support. Tell us again, just to reiterate, we have like 5 minutes left. So
let me get my stuff so that.
Yeah, take your time. That's more important than me asking about all of your writing processes and all the other things that I'll bring you back on, hopefully. So for support for people who are
anyone that who's a survivor or sexual assault or child abuse, or somebody who just knows somebody who's going through something and wants to get more information on how they can help them, please contact the Sexual Assault Hotline, which is 1-800-656-HOPE, HOPE. And the Child National Abuse Hotline is 1-800-422-4453. And I believe it's 24 hours and it's confidential. And like I said before, they will direct you and refer you to a local place that can provide some kind of
which is amazing. I feel like that has many different entities for anyone seeking it. So how can we find you and follow you and follow along? Yes, on that.
Yes.
Or are there a secret?
Yeah. Well, you can find me on social media. I'm working on revamping my website since we're doing some pre-production stuff for podcasts and other things and other writing projects. So it's currently offline. But if you want to reach out to me, you can go to Facebook, you can go to Instagram, and it's Grayce, JayGrayce, and just look up my name and I will be there.
I feel like you have a lot of things happening. Right out, like a lot is brewing, and I want to be able for all of us to follow along.
Yes, I would love that. You kidding? Please join me.
Thank you so very much. I didn't even touch on what did we even talk about? Like I feel like it always flies by. Hopefully, I would love for you to rejoin at some point.
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding? You, me, and Anna. Yeah, that's a party.
It's a party. I can't wait. I am so grateful for you ladies and your willingness to share your stories. I know you're helping people. I know just listeners listening and hearing someone else share their story, it's amazing to not feel alone. I mean, is that what else can we do?
Yes, that's what we're here for, to help each other, hopefully, and do the best we can, huh?
That's it. I'd love to meet you. You're amazing. Your words are amazing. And
we're in Sarasota or in the Orlando area because my parents live there, so sometimes we spend time there. Let me know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And same for you. If you come over to the East Coast, we
want to go to St. Augustine because my mom wants to check it out.
be in touch. I would love to pop around, be your tour guide. I grew up on the East Coast, so I.
Wow, so you grew up there.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Wow, that's exciting.
It's very interesting to be back. Our house that we're building is about 45 minutes west, so it's a funny little zip to be back and sit down. It's the whole thing. I could keep you here all night.
Maybe write about it.
Oh, I've been writing. Oh, and I'll leave you guys this. Obviously I have to send you my books. This is some musings, my journals. A lot of things burnt, but some didn't burn. So I published some.
Good for you, yes.
Thank you. I know you understand exactly how that feels because like I'm the type, I read everybody and I want to share everybody. Mine, I'm like all of a sudden shy, but not so shy. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Thank you, Ashton. You've been so wonderful. Great questions. My God, you made me think. I wasn't ready to think. How dare you?
And I barely even touched down. Like I feel like that's okay. There is another Wednesday night on W.I.L.D, the podcast. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you, everybody. We'll see y'all in a few weeks.